Hello my friend, it's Sean Sony here, and this video I'm really excited about because what I'm going to be sharing with you right here is the sales multiplier formula. I'm going to kind of take you inside and show you how to create intense desire for any product or service and sell it like hotcakes before you even introduce what this product or service is. Okay, and with this strategy, it's insane because you're going to be making more front end sales of whatever product you're selling. Okay, this is going to help you make and these front end sales, because of the relationship that you're going to build with these people. When they come through your sales funnel, you're going to make a lot more back end sales from this process. Okay, right now at the time I record this video, before I actually did this, okay, let me just quickly show you guys a screenshot before and after of me implementing this strategy. So before I did this thing, I was sending traffic directly to Matt's video sales letter. I sent 1,425 visitors, got 345 leads at a 24% conversion rate. I made 8 front-end sales at $44.10 per sale, which is 90% commission, since I'm a mobile licensee, right? So that's $350 and whatever change, okay? Now, as soon as I implemented this strategy that I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can do, and I'm going to be taking you inside the strategy exactly why it works so well, okay? 716 visitors, which is like 50% less than this, 240 leads, which is a 34% conversion rate, 5 front end sales. Okay, now remember, this is half as much as traffic, so it's actually, if you double this thing, it's actually 10 front end sales if I got the exact same amount of visitors, right? So it's more front end sales. But here's the biggie: 3 back end sales, where I was and all these 3 people right now have become licensees. Okay, and all 3 of them are like really committed, and they want to go all the way up to up to titanium and platinum. Okay, so it's a potential, it's big potential right there. But let's not talk about the potential, let's just talk about what's happened so far. So far, 3 of these people have turned into licensees, which is $3,000 in my pocket. Okay, so in total I've made $3,220.50 with half as much traffic. Okay, so again, it's not about I mean, more traffic is good when you have a funnel like this in place. Okay, but without a funnel like this in place, it's gonna be pretty challenging. Okay, so I'm really excited to share these secrets with you. I've never ever shared this stuff before publicly, okay, in the way that I'm about to share with you. And this is gonna be some really ninja stuff right here. This is like very heavy stuff, okay, and you're not gonna find this stuff in any like $2,000 course and stuff like that. This is like really deep stuff that I've paid thousands of dollars to figure out. Okay, and I'm just gonna give it to you right here. This is gonna be pretty powerful stuff, if I say so myself. Okay, so basically, what this here's the process that you're gonna be taking your prospects through. This is your capture page, okay, where you capture people's email address and you're building your list. Okay, and then instead of taking people to the video sales letter for my top tier business or any of other Matt Lloyd's product that you're going to be promoting. In this case, we're just going to be sticking with my top tier business because like 99% of the people that are watching this video are going to be promoting this, right? So we'll just stick to this example. So instead of sending traffic directly here, we're actually going to be creating a piece of content that we're going to take all our people to, okay? And at the end of this piece of content, we're gonna recommend my top tier business, and people are gonna go there to the sales letter, and people are gonna buy. Okay. Now I actually mention this in here. I actually don't. Okay. So what I do want to tell you is that from these visitors, okay, I was okay. I'll actually get into that a little bit later. Okay. And basically, this piece of content in the middle that we're gonna be creating. Okay, you can call it a sandwich page because it's sandwiched between your capture page and your the sales letter of whatever product you're selling or whatever it might be. Okay. Now, by the way, this strategy that I'm going to be sharing with you, it's not like it's only going to work for Matt's offer. Like, this is stuff that people are using that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in like other markets and stuff like in the health markets and stuff like that. This is exactly what they're doing, and you're gonna see why this is so powerful, because this stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you is completely universal. Okay, it works for selling anything, because what I'm going to be sharing with you right here is secrets of persuasion and influence. Okay, this stuff is going to work for anything that you sell, but in this case I'm going to be giving you lots of examples of how I did it to sell Matt's My Top Tier Business. Okay, so that we're kind of staying on point and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what this strategy is about. And again, not only are you going to make more front end sales, you're going to make insane amount of back end sales as well when you use this strategy. Okay, and I should probably close that note. Okay, so okay, again, you need to create a hot piece of content. Now, a lot of people, look, you can't just be like, okay, this is so huge. Okay, I'm gonna be drawing these three things like a billion times in this video, by the way, because this is our funnel, because it's capture page, your piece of content, and sales letter. So I'm gonna be drawing this over and over. So just, I know this is gonna look repetitive, but anyways, what was I saying? What was my point? I totally missed my point. Okay. Okay, I just paused the video for a second just to gather my thoughts again, because I forgot about what I was talking about. But anyways, this video, it can't just be any random piece of content, and then you can't just be randomly sending people to the sales letter and then expect to make sales. Like, this thing has a specific purpose behind it. If you don't get anything out of this video, get this, okay? This piece of content that you're going to be creating is not just to provide quote-unquote value or to just build a relationship. Like, yes, the whole point of this is to build, like, to provide value and build a relationship, but it's done in a very specific, purposeful way. Okay, it's to sell something, and at the same time it's to move your prospect forward. It's to open up their eyes to something bigger. It's to open up their, and I'm gonna be getting deep into this, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But basically, just understand, like, this thing has a specific purpose behind it, and it has a specific strategy behind it. Okay, so you can't be creating a piece of content about like how to set up a web page and then all of a sudden just randomly send people to My Top Tier Business and expect to make sales. It's not just any sort of value, like any piece of content that you create and then you just send people to My Top Tier Business or whatever offer you're promoting and expect to make sales. It doesn't work that way. There's a specific strategy behind it, which is what I'm going to be taking you inside this video. Okay, now this strategy again creates unbelievable amount of trust, rapport, and instant gratification. Okay, your prospects, even if they don't buy what you're selling, you want them to feel better off because they watch this video. This video, or and I'm saying video, but this piece of content, basically, it could be a ebook or a report or whatever it might be. It has to give your prospects an aha moment. Okay, even if they don't buy anything from you, they should go, holy crap, this guy is talking the like I can see how this can help me. Okay, so it has to give that. Now, some of you watching this video right now may be complete newbies or whatever, and you might be thinking to yourself, okay, how can I do this, and what specific, like, I don't know if I'm qualified enough right now to provide a piece of value or something like that that can immediately make my people go, aha, this guy makes sense. This person is coming from a place of authenticity and stuff like that. I'm going to be going deep into this, okay? This is what's really powerful about this strategy, is because it's just I mean, this is crazy, but like 99.9% of people do not even get close to what I'm going to be sharing with you. Like, this is just so powerful. It's unbelievable. Okay, so let's just move on, because I want to get to the freaking strategy and I want to share what this like stuff is. Okay, so this thing is going to ignite desire for your product before you even introduce what the product is. In my piece of content actually happened to be a 64-minute video that I created. Okay, so this was the capture page. This was the My Top Tier Business Sales video or whatever. 64-minute video. It had no like fancy orange add to cart button or whatever like that, right? It just had a bunch of text below the video, and somewhere within there was a link, and I actually tracked this link that took people to My Top Tier Business Sales video. Okay, and it just had a link, and like 50 minutes into the video, okay, 50 minutes into the video, or something like in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the video, I actually introduced people to My Top Tier Business. I didn't even mention what the product is. I didn't even mention how, like, my income or any of that stuff, okay, which you may see typically. So this was, and the funny thing was, I made, as you saw, more front end sales and more back end sales from this than sending people directly to the sales video. Now, most people would think, if you've been in this industry, most people would think like 64-minute video, that's a very long video. Wouldn't that kind of hurt your sales? Because it's basically one extra hoop that you're creating for your prospects to go through, because they opt into your capture page. They have to watch this 64-minute video, then they have to go here and watch this 25-minute sales video, and then they have to buy a $49 product. Like, that sounds an incredibly long process, and isn't that hurting your sales? Well, my friends, the results are right in front of you. Okay, now I do know, like right now at the time of recording this video, I'm testing different strategies on maybe making a 25-minute video that covers the exact same content I do in the 64-minute video, and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of a little bit hesitant because this is already working. So why try to break something that's already working well? Okay, but I'm still going to be testing some traffic and trying different stuff out. Maybe make a shorter video and see if it makes more sales, or if the sales stay consistent, or whatever it might be. Okay, so anyways, basically that's the extra hoop that I created. But the point that I'm trying to make here is I introduced the product like 50 minutes to about 55 minutes into the video. I don't know specifically exactly what time, but like at the very end of the video, I actually tell people about my top tier business. Okay, and more people ended up buying the product. So my video was not about the product. I didn't even mention Matt Lloyd or Mob, okay, or anything, or how much money I'm making with the system, or what results I'm. As a matter of fact, I didn't even share like any proof on how much money I'm making with the system whatsoever at all, and still this thing works. So if you have no results whatsoever right now, that's okay. You can still do this with the strategy that I'm going to be sharing with you, okay, because this is just extremely powerful stuff. And again, like, people are going to want to buy your product. That desire is going to be ignited, okay, within your prospect before you even bring up the freaking product. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you sell, because online, you're not selling products. Not just online, anywhere in the world, you're never selling a product. You're selling solutions to problems. Okay, and this is gonna, I know this sounds like completely obvious. Your product is basically a solution to your prospect's problem. I know that sounds completely obvious, and you're like, duh, right? Obviously, but this is, it's gonna get deeper than this. Okay, so anyways, let's just straight dive right into this. This strategy is insanely powerful. Enough of me blabbering. Let's straight get into it. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to find out, again, the problem and the solution. Okay, so the solution is basically what your product is. So in this case, in our case, it's my top tier business, right? So what's the solution and what's the problem that my top tier business solves? Okay, now obviously it's high ticket sales, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's not just high ticket sales that my top tier business solves. I mean, high ticket is a big thing, right? But what specifically about high ticket does it solve? Okay, how does it exactly solve it, right? Like, these are the questions that you need to ask. You really need to dig in. Now that you know the solution that you can offer to your prospects, and this offer is converting, so you already know the marketplace like wants this stuff and whatever like that, right? So you already know this is a hot product and everything. You want to find out what the problems are that a prospect would be facing, for whom this would be a perfect solution. Okay, so high ticket in what way, how, and you need to find out all these different things. You need to figure out the big ass problem, the BAP, as I like to call it, that my top tier business solves, that your offer solves for people. Okay, and you need to drill deep. It's not just, oh, it helps people make high ticket sales and that's that. You need to go deeper. Okay, you need to go like many levels deeper. High ticket sales. Okay, so exactly how does it make a difference? Well, there's a phone team that closes all the sales for you. So what? Okay, every time you come up with a solution, every time you come up with a problem, you want to ask yourself this question. Okay, this is gonna make you so much money. You want to ask yourself, okay, so what? Okay, my top tier business has a phone team that closes sales for you. So what? So that you don't have to close sales, you don't have to master closing sales on the phone. Even if you're just getting started, it's done for you. And so now you see how I'm automatically, just by asking so what, I'm coming up with the benefits, okay, that the product solves. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, so what, so what, so what, so what. And again, I'm going to be going deep into examples of this stuff. So it completely, like, I'm driving this point home because this is just so huge. So firstly, you want to figure out what problems, and a series of problems. Okay, so for instance, if they high ticket sales, what specific problems would it solve? Okay, well, if you're making high ticket sales, there's many things. Okay, and since you bought this thing, you already know these benefits, but I'm just relaying it, right? That, okay, if you're making high ticket sales, you're having a high lifetime lead value. Okay, which means you're making significantly more money than your competitors for every lead that enters your funnel. Well, how does that make a difference? Well, if you're making 5 times more money than your competitor, that means you can get 5 times, like, you have more quote unquote opportunity to get traffic. Okay, you have 5 times more power to go out there and get traffic. You can scale your business 5 times faster, and you can spend 5 times more money on getting traffic and all these different things. So while somebody might be struggling with a traffic source, you can enter the exact same traffic source and you can make a difference. Okay, because every traffic source costs the exact same thing. It doesn't matter if you're selling a $10 product or a $10,000 product. If it costs you $5 to get a lead, it costs you $5 to get a lead. Okay, so that's one of the many problems that high ticket solves. So again, you want to drill deeper into this. Okay, you want to go really deep into this thing. Now, here's where we really get into the ninja stuff. How to leverage the BAP, okay, the big ass problem, to ignite crazy desire and trust for your offer. Okay, now I want to give you an example, okay, because this is just so critical. Okay, let's imagine that you're an attorney. Okay, hold on, I need to get this thing right. Okay, please don't read it, let me explain this to you because it's going to make a lot more sense. Let's say you're an attorney who's prosecuting a murder trial, and that's definitely not the right spelling, and some people are just laughing right now, but that's okay. I just quickly wrote this, okay, so it's not. Anyways, you're an attorney who's prosecuting a murder trial, okay? So there is a person who you think has committed a murder or whatever, and let's just say you're an attorney in court or whatever it might be, and it's your job at the end of the case to prove the victim guilty of murder. So you need to prove that this guy has actually committed this murder at whichever place or whatever, okay? Now, think about it. If you want to get the jury to come to the conclusion that this person has actually committed the murder, okay, there are certain things that you need the jury to believe in order to find this person guilty, right? Obviously, you need to create some beliefs in the judge, okay, who's listening to both sides of the coin, and you need to convince, basically, right, for lack of a better word, that this person is actually guilty, okay? So what would you and I'm going somewhere with this, okay? So what would you specifically need to make the jury believe about this person, okay? Things like motive behind the murder, okay? Things like, was this person actually at the site when the murder actually happened? What time did it happen? Okay, and this person actually did it. Why did he do it? And why he's the only one that could, like, all these different things. And you have to literally overcome every single objection that this judge would have. That would literally make him go, at the end of the trial, literally go, yes, okay, it makes sense, this person has committed the murder or whatever it might be. Okay, so there's a sequence of things that get presented in a logical order in your presentation to the judge in order for this person to be deemed guilty. Okay, now here's where I'm going with this. It's the exact same when you're selling a product. Okay, you need your prospects to believe some things before you before you even bring up the product. Okay, before you even bring up the product, you need your prospects to believe some stuff about your product. Let me get a little bit more specific about what they need to believe and how to create those beliefs and all this different stuff. This is just extremely powerful. You need to create 3 types of beliefs. Beliefs about your offer, so what you're selling, the product or service or whatever it might be. Beliefs about you, and beliefs about themselves. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these. So for the offer, in the case of my top tier business, here are some of the beliefs that you need to create within your prospects in order for them to go like even the most skeptical person in the whole world to turn them into, yes, my top tier business makes sense type of deal. It makes sense. Okay, so here are just some of the things I just came up with this stuff. Okay, here are some of the beliefs that you need to create. You need high ticket or you'll get crushed. Okay, one belief, and this really overcomes an objection as well, is it's easier to sell high ticket than low ticket. Okay, one of the objections that keeps people low is they think they're not going to be able to sell high ticket and stuff like that. One of the awesome things about my top tier business is the system does all the selling for you, because there's a phone team and stuff like that. So one of the big objections about high ticket is, isn't it harder to sell a high ticket product than a $10 product or whatever it might be? Okay, and to prove this point, you need to show them that you need a perfect medium to sell a high ticket product. Okay, you need to serve. You will serve your customers better by using high ticket offer. Okay, these are just some beliefs that you need to create, and again, I'm going to be showing you deeper into this. Okay, high ticket is the key to time freedom. Okay, instead of peddling $10 products and wondering where your next $10 commission is coming from, if you're getting $1,000 per sale or $3,000 per sale or whatever, right? Just one sale, and you're like, well, like it's just a lot better situation. You have more time freedom. Like if it takes you, 30 minutes to close a sale, that's like a $10 sale or something like that. Why not spend 1 hour instead closing a $1,000 sale, but you're getting rewarded much better. You're gonna have more time freedom. You're gonna get to spend more time with your family. Blah 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 blah. All these different points. High lifetime lead value. I kind of already talked about it. Okay, let me kind of open this stuff up. Okay, and again, I'm gonna be getting into how to create these beliefs, because this, I know, may sound a little bit overwhelming right now. Okay, you can outcompete everyone. You can afford to spend more money on traffic. You don't have to chase cheap traffic, and stuff like that. Okay, so I this stuff is kind of repetitive. I need to remove some of this stuff, but anyways. Okay. Also, one of the other beliefs is you need a system to help to sell high ticket. Okay, you can't just have this $3,000 coaching program and then and that's that, and you're not just magically gonna make money. You need to have a system that sells this thing. Okay, and also if you're in the make money online industry, if you're in the home business industry, you also need a system that's duplicable, so your team that comes into the system can duplicate your results. Okay, and all these different things. Okay, so these are just some of the beliefs right off the bat, like from top of my head. Okay, about the offer that you need to create. Now you also need to create some beliefs about you. Okay, beliefs like you're like when it comes to empathy. Have you been where your prospect is right now? Do you understand their pain? Do you understand their struggles? Do you understand exactly what situation they are coming from? Okay, do you understand how it is when you're spending money with nothing in return, or you're spending money, you're making a bunch of sales, but you feel stuck because you're not making the big money? Okay, you don't see that big leverage. One of the solution to this is high ticket sales, because 1 or 2 high ticket sales and the whole month is a big difference. Okay, you can make 300 sales of a $10 product. That's $3,000, right? That's a lot of sales that you'd have to make, right? 300 different sales. But if just like 3 of these people buy a $3,000 product, immediately that's $9,000 right there, right? So I mean, I'm just giving an example right now off the top of my head, but stuff like this. So have you been where they are? Do you understand their pain? Are you a trustable person? Like, these are some of the beliefs that you need to create within your prospect in order for them to have an irresistible yes. Okay, and it's not like we're tricking people with this stuff. We're giving them something that they really want. It's just a persuasion technique, right? Only use this for good, by the way, right? Like, don't use it for bad or whatever. This stuff, I mean, you should always be recommending stuff that you only 110% believe in, and that's that. Okay, so you should do everything in your power to make a sale. Okay, that's the thinking behind that. So, are you a trustable person? Can you help a person go from point A to point B? Okay, again, it's point A to point B, not point A to $1,000,000 or point A to $1 billion. If you know how to get 5 leads per day, can you help your prospect? Um, can you show them exactly what you're doing to get 5 leads per day or whatever? Right? Can you help them go from point A to point B, where they're getting 10 leads one day and then no leads for 10 days or whatever, to now getting 5 leads per day that are qualified into a sales funnel or whatever? That's valuable, right? So can you help somebody go from point A to point B? It doesn't matter what you what experience or whatever you may have, what results you may have right now. Okay, you need to have beliefs that the person has to believe about themselves. Like, the biggest one obviously is, can I do this? Okay, can this work for me? Okay, this is huge because you can literally convince anyone that your product works. Okay, you can go to the nth degree and prove and have like billion testimonials and all these different things to convince somebody that your product works. But what you need to really persuade people on is that the product is going to work for them. Okay, for them. All right, so that's the key right there. So you do this by also overcoming common objections that your prospect might have. So let me give you an example. Okay, let's say that you're selling a fat burning supplement or something like that, something to help people lose fat or something like that. And the prospect, the person who is looking to buy this fat burning supplement from you or whatever, has a thyroid condition, and that's why they have this weight and stuff like that they want to lose, right? But you don't address this issue at all in your content, in your sales material or whatever, right? You could have all the testimonials in the world, you could have the best sales pitch in the whole world, but the prospect is never going to buy from you, because at the back of their mind, they literally have this thing where they're like, okay, like, but I have a thyroid condition, like, can this work for me too, right? So that's a belief that you also need to create. Okay, for instance, in the internet marketing industry, it's, can I do this? You can go into the technical thing where I don't know how to create a website, I don't know how to create a capture page, I don't know how to set up an autoresponder. Can I do this? I'm not some big guru. I'm just a beginner. Can I do this? I don't know how to pick up the phone and make high ticket sales. Can I do this? In our case, yes, because the phone team is going to make the sales for you, right? Like, so you need to overcome these objections that your prospect would have. Okay, now if you don't address this issue, they won't believe that the product is, or whatever you're selling, is going to work for them. So it's a lost cause. You could have the best sales pitch in the world, but if you don't address this issue, this key issue that's eating up their brain, it's useless. Literally useless. Okay? Like, for instance, you could be, for instance, okay, I saw this, I'm just giving an example right now. I saw this big sales pitch for a solo ad product, okay, and the thing had like a billion testimonials and all these different things and everything, right? But the one thing that this person never talked about in their sales material, and it was just one thing that was literally stopping me from buying this product or whatever, was that they never talked about the quality of traffic that I would get. Because in my experience, I have tried solo ads in the past. They get traffic, they get a whole bunch of leads, but nobody ends up buying. So the key with solo ads, right, is to find people who are actually buying your stuff, not just to get a whole bunch of leads who never buy anything, right? So this guy talked about everything and how solo ads can get me 1,000 visitors a day and blah 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 and blah 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 and all these different things, but he never addressed this key issue. That, I mean, if he did have it, that is, right? I don't suggest you like lie or something, right? But if the product was so good, he should also talk about the quality of traffic. He never addressed the real issue that I had in my mind as a prospect of, is this just like one of those billion other courses that shows you how to get a whole bunch of leads and stuff like that, but nothing ever converts into sales? How do I find solo ad vendors who I know are going to convert into sales for me? Okay, that issue was never addressed, so I never bought this product. Except for that, this thing was like, it had all these different things in place. Okay, so there's things that you need your prospect to believe about the offer, about you, and about themselves. Okay, that's the key right there. Okay. Okay, I hope this stuff is making sense. This is some really, really deep stuff, and this is just incredibly powerful. Okay, because if you don't have that belief in your prospect, see your content, my 64-minute video, okay, the first 50 minutes, let's just say this is the timeline of the video. The first 50 minutes is just creating beliefs, opening up people's minds, giving them aha moments into what this is and stuff like that, creating a desire through creating beliefs, okay, for a system that makes you high ticket sales, and everything is done for you, even if you're even if you have objection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's a system that can do everything for you. Okay, even if you're just getting started, even if you don't know how to close sales on the phone, even if you haven't made any money before, whatever it might be, all these different objections, there's a system that can literally believe, all these different beliefs, right? Here's a perfect solution. Right? So before I even introduced my top tier business, my prospects were literally salivating their mouth over the solution. And again, people buy solutions, not products. All right? People buy solutions, not products. People buy results, not products. Right? So that's what made this work so well, is because I was just selling, forget selling a product, sell a belief, right? And I'm going to show you how to do this. So how do you create beliefs exactly? Okay, because beliefs is what's so powerful. All you have to do is just create desire in your piece of content. Give them aha moment that creates a desire for your product. And then when you actually introduce your product, it's the easiest sale ever, because all the resistance in selling is gone. It's literally gone, because not only have you provided them value, but you have created a belief system in this person's brain that's going to help them move forward, right? And again, all the objections and everything is gone, and by providing value, you've also given them, like, you've given them some stuff, really cool stuff for free, so there's a reciprocity there. You've given them some really cool stuff that they know is true, and I'm going to show you how to create a belief that a person would believe, like 100%, something they would back. Okay, now there's two types of beliefs that you can create. There is implicit belief and explicit belief. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit deep here, but this is basically communication. Now, an implicit piece of communication is basically something that you come to the conclusion of. Okay, and explicit is you just coming right out and saying it. Okay, so if I wanted to, quote unquote, sell you on a belief that, for example, I'm just giving you an example, that your email list is an asset, an explicit command would literally me being like, creating a video and me going, hey, it's Sean Sony here, and I just want to let you know that, you know, your email is your real asset and stuff like that. Like, it's your real asset. Here's why, blah blah blah. And that's not nearly as powerful as implicit, because implicit is something that your prospect comes to a conclusion of themselves. Okay, you don't come out right there and say it. They actually come to the conclusion themselves. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many times have you gone into an argument with somebody, okay, and in the middle of an argument you realize that you're kind of wrong or whatever, right? But you still just hammer the point home because it's your point. Like, it's you're just backing yourself, right? Why? Because it's an implicit thing. People are going to back what they believe 100 times more than something that, you know, anybody just straight away tells them. Okay, like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example to prove this point, but this is just so huge I cannot explain to you. This can literally make a difference in conversion rates like you would not believe. Like, it's unreal what sort of differences this can make, because an explicit thing, like if I came right out there and told you, like, for instance, you need to build an email list because it's your real asset. That sounds very authoritative. That sounds very commanding. That sounds very pushy from me, right? Instead, if I actually told you a story or something, and we're going to be getting into it, if I actually opened your mind and showed you and proved to you in a very specific way why it's this way, and I'm going to give you an example again. Actually, I should just give an example so that it may just make sense. But basically, an implicit command is much more powerful. Okay? Here's how you do it. So let me give you an example. David struggled in this industry for 2 years, in the internet marketing industry and this is actually a true story, okay? Struggled in this industry for 2 years, tried everything under the sun, blah blah blah, and then he cracked the code, okay? And then in a span of 3 months, he actually recruited 250 people personally into his business, okay? So everything was going well. He was recruiting a whole bunch of people, and in 3 months, he had like 250 people join his company, and everything was going well. All of a sudden, this one morning, he woke up to find out that his company was no longer in business. It was gone. Okay, they had some legal problems or whatever, and the company was literally gone. Okay, so his entire downline and income literally vanished overnight. Everything just went away. Okay, in one moment, it was all gone. So as you can imagine, he was pretty pissed. He was like, "What the hell? I just spent 3 months of my life creating this income stream and whatever, and everything is just straight away just gone." Okay. Now, fortunately, he was actually building a list. All right. So here's what he decided to do. He decided to do a webinar and send out an invitation to this webinar to his list and tell people about the situation and stuff like that. Literally come clean and say that I've made a big mistake or whatever. And at the end of the webinar, he just made a pitch to a new business opportunity that he joined or whatever. Okay. He actually recruited 115 people in the next 7 days by sending out a couple of emails to his list about this new offer that he created. Okay, he didn't talk to anyone on the phone. It was done completely at the push of a button. He just literally typed in a bunch of emails, did a webinar, sold his product, and he recruited 115 people into the new company that he joined. Okay? So let me ask you, what if he didn't build an email list? Right? I mean, he would have been hosed because he literally went from rags to riches back to like rags, right? He would have literally had to face his wife and be like, honey, we just kind of went broke overnight because our company that we've been trying to build for the last 3 months literally went under. Okay, so let's face it, any company can go down. Okay, um, I mean, it can happen to anyone, even you. Okay, any product or any company that you're an affiliate for can be gone in it can be gone tomorrow. Who knows? Okay, it's not something that you own. You're just one of the many affiliates for that thing. Okay, so that's why your list is your real asset. Okay, your list, and not just your list, the relationship that you have with your list is your real asset, because that's something that you can tap into for the rest of your life. It's something that you control. And as my mentor Dagan Smith says, if you don't have control, you don't have a business. Okay, if you don't have control, you don't have a business. And a list, and a responsive list, a list that you have a relationship with, literally gives you control, because you have people who know, like, and trust you, who listen to you. You have a tribe that literally follows every single footstep that you take, and every time you recommend something, they go ahead and buy it. Right? Now, there's a specific way that you build a responsive email list or whatever, right? But think about it. Without a list, you're completely hosed. Okay, and again, you need to have a relationship with this list too. Just having a bunch of emails on a database is not going to make you a bunch of money in this in this way, where you're recruiting a whole bunch of people just by sending out a bunch of emails. You have to build a relationship with these people, and you have to do it the right way. Okay, so wouldn't you want to be safe and secure anyways? Okay, the way you do that is by building a list. And as one of my mentors said, if you don't have control, you don't have a business. Okay, now I don't know about you, but I like to sleep well at night. Right? Like I like to sleep well at night knowing that my business is under control. Okay, that my income is, I'm building an income stream that's going to continue growing and stuff like that. I have control. I have pillars in my business and stuff. Right? So why take a risk when you simply don't have to? All right, so you need to learn how to build a responsive email list. Now, I just told you that story right there. What conclusions did you see? As I told you the story, there were lots of conclusions that I didn't come right out and say, but you actually, they were implied. Like, a responsive list equals push button wealth. Okay, you can push a button and make a bunch of money. All right, there are also like, so but do you see how I literally threw a story? So like I could have just as easily transitioned from this story into an email marketing product. Okay, I could have literally said, hey, I recently figured out a strategy, and then I could just go into the whole thing or something, and that is building me a responsive list. Here are some of the results that I have, or whatever it might be, and let me help you duplicate the results like this, and I could just go into that, right? But I've created a belief that you need a responsive list or else you're screwed, okay? And you need, like, do you see how powerful that was? Instead of me just coming right out and telling you your list is an asset, you need to build a relationship. If I just came out right there and said it, you're gonna forget that like 24 hours from now. But if I tell you this story, and right now I just kind of told this story off the top of my head, I didn't really dramatize it, I didn't really go into the pain, the hurt that this person felt when they were in the situation or whatever, right? But if I did, this would have been a memorable story. Like 1 year from now, when you see me, right, and I told this story or something, you would remember it, right? You see what I mean? Like, stories are very powerful, okay? Because there is hidden messages, there's hidden stuff that you came to your own conclusion of. I didn't have to tell you that, okay? So that's how so I just created a belief in you that you need, and it's true, right? You need a list, a responsive list, and you need to build a responsive list if you want to survive, or else you don't have control, which means you don't have a business. Okay, you're not going to be able to sleep well at night. You're not going to be safe and secure. Okay, your list is your real asset. It can happen to you. Okay, so do you see how powerful this is? This is huge. Oh my goodness, is this powerful stuff or what? Now, stories, it could be your own story, or you could borrow somebody else's story. Now, in my case, like 8 out of 10 times or so, I just, like, because I'm in this industry, and I'm like noticing stuff and whatever, right? I just borrow other people's stories too. Like this David story, I could use it to sell my product about an email marketing. Like I could just, go like, I know this friend David, and I could transition into this story, and that's that. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's your story or somebody else's story. You could tell a story about me, right? It wouldn't matter. You could tell a story about your friend, whatever it might be. A story is a story. The real point behind it is it creates, it's implicit communication. Okay, you're not going to come right out there and say that you need high ticket to survive in this business, or else you're going to be screwed. You need a high converting sales funnel, or else your business is going to suck. If you just come out right there and say it, it's just a sentence. There's nothing behind that sentence, right? However, if you structure it properly, it's crazy powerful what you can do, okay? It's crazy, crazy powerful. Okay, so again, you can use your own story or borrow somebody else's. Like, if you think about it, the 64-minute video that I created, think about it. How many stories did I use in that video? Okay, let me just quickly open it. How many stories did I use and to prove a point? Okay, so the first story, the video actually starts out with the story, the 10-minute chat with the crazy dude who changed my life. Okay, so how this guy went from $80,000 in debt to earning $50,000 a month. I went up to him, asked him what his secret was, and he actually shared it with me, right? Story. I could have easily, like, imagine if I had just come right out there and said, hey guys, it's Sean Sony here, and here's something that I recently figured out. While everybody's trying to pinch pennies from boatloads of people online, I discovered that selling really expensive stuff to serious people is a lot better way to do it. And then I could go into, but you see how that's just not, it doesn't have the zing, it doesn't have any power, it doesn't have any persuasion in it at all. It's just me telling you, it's just me commanding a bunch of stuff instead of persuasion. All right, so anyways, like, think about that. Okay, so that's story number one. Okay, goal, 10 sales of this, right? And then I go into these stories. I don't want to get into too much detail, but you're going to have more serious clients, high perceived value. I give examples, okay? I'm going to show you. Stories is just one of the ways that you can create beliefs, okay? There's stories, then there's, there's proof, okay? So you can show some stuff, okay? One of the best proofs that you can also give some really good proof could be like literally income, obviously, and that stuff, or leads, or whatever it might be, or some numbers, or whatever it might be, right? And it can also be just an example. Like, for instance, in my video, and even right now, when I'm teaching you this thing, right, when I'm teaching you the strategy, I'm not just, I could have just started this thing. Like, think about how I'm persuading you right now, even, right? If I had started this video and said, sales multiplier formula, blah, 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 You need to create a bunch of beliefs in order to do this. You'll just be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? It doesn't make any sense. But by using the story and by painting a metaphor, okay, this time it was a metaphor where I painted a picture that, you know, this guy is convicted of a murder and you need to prove him and blah blah blah, and I showed you this, right? You're like, okay, now I see why I need to create beliefs. Okay, so this is persuasion. All right, this is just killer stuff that I'm sharing with you right now, and I'm using it on you right now so that you comply with me. All right, so that you actually get what I'm trying to say in a resistance free manner, and I hope you appreciate that, obviously, right? So I'm selling you right now, if you think about it, on using this strategy in multiple different ways. Like, I'm giving you metaphors, I'm telling you stories, right? I'm giving you examples, right? Like in the video, I gave an example like, okay, you need to make 100,000 sales of a $20 product, 4 sales of a $5,000 product, right? One example that you could give literally is like, if you're selling a $20 product, it would take 50 sales to make $1,000, okay? If you are selling a $1,000 product, it's just one sale, okay? Now, this requires 50 times more sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's 50 times harder to sell a $1,000 product than it is a $20 product. And you could go into a story to really hammer this point home or something like that. Okay, just to give you an example, to give this belief. And once your prospect believes this, it's literally an aha moment. Okay, it's literally an aha moment for them. That's what's so powerful about this. Okay, you could go into a story about like how you were spending like you were selling a $20 product or whatever it might be, and you were spending all this time and you were making some money. You were making like, I'm just giving you an example, right? Like, if this is actually true, not suggesting you make a bunch of stuff up. Like, if this is true or something, that you were making $200-300 a month with something like this, you were making about 15 sales, and then when you entered the high ticket arena, you noticed that one of the things that you first noticed was that it cost you the exact same amount of money to get a lead anyways. Okay, you made more money on the back end. The exact same amount of people actually contacted you wanting to get a solution. You were talking to the exact same amount of people, or whatever it might be, like whatever the story might be. And even if you don't have a story, you can tell a story about somebody else. Okay, that's what's so powerful about this. You don't have to have results or whatever. You can just tell a story about somebody else. Like in my video, I didn't go from $80,000 to $50,000 per month or something, $80,000 in debt to $50,000 a month, but I know somebody who did, so I just used this story. Okay, another story that I used, one of the many stories I used, is I know a guy who has a list of 8,000 people, and he made his first $1 million from this list. Okay, because he was responsive, because he was using high ticket offers in a strategic way, he had the right selling medium, blah blah blah. I don't want to get into it. And there's another guy, he has a list of 200,000 people, right? Makes $10,000 a month. Well, what's the difference, right? It's the responsiveness of the list, it's the offers that they promote, it's the modality that they promote the offers in. But you see how when I paint this example, like right now I just gave you like a 30-second mini version of it, right? But if I really wanted to hammer this thing home, this sort of an example would really open up somebody's eyes into, okay, it's not just about building a huge giant email list. It's about getting the right leads. It's about using the right selling medium. It's about selling high ticket offers. It's about getting the right traffic, right? These are beliefs that you need to create. Oh my goodness, this is so powerful. I'm going to freak out right now. This is insanely powerful. Okay, like this is just, I'm just giving away the farm here. Okay, so show, not tell, whenever you can. Whenever you can, wherever you can. Okay, so show. One of the reasons I love this drawing thing that I'm using right now is because I can show. I'm not just telling stories, I'm showing a story. Like when I was telling you the judge in the court or whatever story, I drew a person and whatever and all this different stuff. So I'm showing the thing. Okay, if you're offering some bonuses or whatever, which we're going to be getting into, right? Show the bonuses. Go inside the training area of the product that you're selling. Like go inside the members area. Nobody does that. Okay, nobody actually like logs in into what happens after somebody buys a course or a product or whatever, takes them inside and says, okay, here's exactly what you're going to get when you buy my $50 product or whatever. Okay, here's module number one. In module number one, you're gonna learn blah 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 blah. Here, there's 3 different videos. The first one goes through this. The second one goes through this. Here are just some of the comments that people are leaving right here for this video. Blah blah blah, and you just literally show your product. So many people talk about their product. Nobody shows the product. Okay, so show, not tell. Whenever you possibly can. Whenever you possibly can. Try to show as much as possible instead of just tell. Okay, nobody does that, number one, so it's gonna make you stand out of the crowd. Okay, and it's just a lot more transparent way to do business, because your prospects are gonna see exactly what they're getting into, right? They're gonna like go inside and see exactly what they're getting into and stuff like that. Okay, metaphors. Okay, so I gave you a metaphor. When did I, like the judge in court metaphor, right? Let me give you another example. Okay, a statement that says, like, right now, excuse me, I could make a 3-minute content video, and the video would say, you know, one of the biggest secrets of the top earners is they just don't quit. Okay, when they face a challenge, when they face a roadblock or whatever it might be, they don't quit. They keep going. They're persistent. They trust themselves and they keep going. All right, so that's the message for today, and blah blah blah. And I could just thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you later or whatever. So that's just me again telling you something. It's literally like, okay, don't quit. Like, that's just, it doesn't have any power. I mean, it has little to no power whatsoever. Instead, again, by using stories or metaphors or something, here's how I could do it. Imagine a 3-year-old or 1 or 2-year-old or something baby, right? And he or she, let's just say he, is learning how to walk. And every time he tries, he just falls down, falls down, falls down. Are you ever going to go up to the baby and tell him, like after 3 successive tries, are you going to go up to the baby and say, you know what? That's it. We've had it. For the rest of your life, this is it. You're never going to try this thing again because clearly it's not working, right? So that's that. Okay? You're never going to be able to walk. Just accept it. Done. Okay? Of course not. You're going to keep doing, keep going, keep going, keep going, and keep going. Stay persistent and never ever quit. This happens to be one of the secrets of the people who earn a lot of money. They're always persistent. Okay? All these gurus and stuff like that who are making a lot of money, they don't actually talk about this, but they had their fair struggles. Okay? They had their challenges and their roadblocks and stuff like that. The only difference is they stuck through it. They were persistent, and they were just going after things, right? Now, I could go on a little bit more detail about this and whatever it might be, but you see how that was a lot more valuable, a lot more hit home type of content, and a lot more purposeful piece of content than you should never quit, because I mean, winners never quit and quitters never win, or something cheesy like that, and that's that. Okay? But with a story like this of a baby walking, trying to walk and failing, and you going up to the baby and all these different things, you see how this just hits home at a much different level, right? And then I could transition into whatever it might be, and it hits home. This is how you create beliefs. Okay, if I wanted to create a belief in you that I want you to stay persistent, I want you to never quit, I could tell you this story, and it would be like, okay, that makes sense. I get that. Okay, and you would come to that conclusion yourself. Okay, instead of me coming right out and being like, don't quit, stay persistent, be a leader. Right? That's just a statement again. Okay? And again, I just figured this stuff out recently. So, like, even when I'm talking to my buddies or whatever type of communication that I'm trying to have, I'm trying to like do this now, and it's crazy like how much more compliance and stuff you get. Because people who reject you, okay, your rejection in whatever it might be, okay, your rejection when it comes to your prospects or whatever it might be, like anything in life, right, would significantly go down if you truly get this. Okay, honestly, it just get this. Okay, this is not just good for making sales and being good in business and whatever. This is good for communication, period. Okay, it's learning how to craft stories, learning how to craft metaphors, and proof and facts and statements or quotes from super big credible people, which we're going to get into, right? That sell a belief about something that you're going to be talking about later. Okay? Is this powerful stuff or what? Okay, so then there's facts. Okay? So, like, 78.1% of the people who are subscribed to uh, this magazine report that they're not getting any help whatsoever from this magazine or whatever it might be. That's a fact, right? Or just any fact, or 83 point, like, and these facts have to have real credibility. So if there's a fact about what you're trying to explain to people in a newspaper or some really credible website or something like that, right, that you can use, go ahead and do that. That's a fantastic way for you to create belief. Okay? Something like 77, like I just recently read an ad from a really good marketer. It literally said 77.1% of the chiropractor businesses are going to be shut down in this year, while some people are going to have the best year ever. And then his offer was basically, how can I'm going to help you get more clients, and I'm going to help you not be one of these 77% of the people, and blah, blah, blah. Right? So, something like that. Okay? Statements or quotes from super big, credible people. Okay? So, that's like, I actually had an example somewhere here. Yeah, so something like when I used in this story, where was one of my mentors always said, if you don't have control, you don't have a business. Okay? Something like, for instance, like Tony Robbins has a quote or something that says, in the moment of your destiny, in the moment of decision, your destiny is shaped, or something like that. So if there's somebody, if you want to get somebody over the fence or something about a decision that they're trying to make or something, you could literally have, one of my most famous mentors always says, the moment of decision shapes your destiny, or something like that. And if that person really happens to trust Tony Robbins, now you're literally boring third person type of proof. Okay, so that's a different type of proof, and that's a really ninja way to use it as well. Okay, so that's that. So that's how you create beliefs. Okay, now I want you to kind of think about this. Okay, every good sales page has this. My Top Tier Business has it. Okay, Mob License Rights also has it. And I want you to think about it. My Top Tier Business, the 21 steps. What are the 21 steps really? Think about it. Okay? They give a significant amount of value they basically form a belief system. That's why the system converts so well, because it creates a belief system. When somebody goes through the 21 steps, they see all the different pieces of the internet marketing puzzle come together, and they can see how they can do it. Okay, so again, going back to this thing, where did it go? All their beliefs about the offer, okay, about the all the, like, let's just say this is your Mr. Prospect or whatever. All the beliefs, all of their beliefs. So when they come into My Top Tier Business or whatever, they may be a little bit skeptical or whatever it might be, or they're basically not clear, in a clear state of mind or something. These 21 steps literally give them a clarity and create beliefs about the offer, about Matt Lloyd and his system and all that stuff, about the prospect himself. Okay? And that's what the entire 21 step system is designed to do. That's why it works so well, because the entire thing creates this. It's just a disguised, I mean, if you think about it, it's just a disguised sales pitch, right? Like, I'm not supposed to say this as a trainer or whatever, as somebody who's like marketing this thing, but I'm just coming right out and saying it's a disguised sales pitch. But at the same time, it's a valuable sales pitch. And that's what I want you to understand, my friends. Like my 64-minute video, there are people, and again, it's not like selling is not something evil or bad or whatever. People literally go through the 21 steps and they have more clarity towards their business. Right? People literally go through my 64-minute video. There's people that don't buy My Top Tier Business that literally come back to me and say, wow, your video literally opened up my eyes. Like, I can totally see what you're trying to say. Okay? Like, that stuff was insane. That was powerful stuff. Even if they don't buy. Okay? But the whole thing is just a soft sell for my top tier business. That's really what it is. It's a pre-sell, right? So when you structure your content in a focused and structured manner like this, you're going to be building a relationship. Okay? Relationship, I'm not going to spell the whole thing. Trust, rapport, instant gratification, and all these different things while selling products. If you do this, if you learn how to create content pieces like this, you can literally be selling something every single day, and your prospects are not going to care about it. They're going to be completely cool about it because you're providing value. And this stuff is providing value because you're telling stories that are moving them forward, right? That also at the same time, because they're so focused, they create a desire for what it is that you're trying to sell. Okay? Now, one thing is that you want to be having congruency in whatever you're doing. Okay, so if this is the offer, again, that's why I started this video with figure out what the solution is that the product solves and the problem and stuff. Okay, so you can't have my top tier business and then you can't be like talking about, for instance, the like the David story about email list or whatever, and all of a sudden be like, oh, by the way, there's my top, and then just randomly transition into my top tier business, unless you can relate email marketing to my top tier business in some way. Okay, unless you can do that in some way or whatever it might be. Okay, so you need to have that thing focused, right? You need, these two things need to connect, or else the whole thing's gonna fall flat, because it's like people come and there's a fat burning supplement and you're selling a make money online offer or something. It's never gonna work. I mean, you could have the best pre-sale offer. If you sell people to send people to a completely unrelated thing, it's just not gonna work. Okay, so you need to have congruency in what you're doing. And I know that sounds obvious, but many people miss it. Okay, so you need to have congruency in what you're doing in every step of the process. All right. Wow, was that powerful or what? Okay, so powerful stuff to include, okay, in your piece of content or stuff. Are there myths that people don't know about? Okay, in my video, in my 64-minute video, there were many myths that I literally uncovered, right? And there was actually also lots of controversial stuff. So if you can go borderline on controversial and all that stuff, go ahead and do it. Okay, go ahead and do it. Like just reveal it, right? If there's anything that people that is upside down and nobody's really sharing the real truth about it, right? Share it. Like, one of the biggest myths and lies that people are told is traffic is the name of the game. You just gotta get more traffic, right? Well, if I show somebody this type of thing, and I show people into, okay, this is what I did, and I walk people through this process or whatever, I can create a belief system in that person where it's literally like, and it's true, right? That this is half less traffic. It's like 10 times more money or something. It's 9 times more money or something from half the traffic. So the game is not just about getting a whole bunch of traffic. The game is not about getting cheap traffic. It's about getting profitable traffic. Okay? So all these different things, okay, that I could, so myths, lies, insider secrets, and all these different things, you could go into it. All right? Now, so here's how you do it. Okay? Here's the action plan. You can either create, right? Because it's not just like you need, I mean, in most cases, it's not just one belief that you need to create, right? There's lots of stuff that you can talk about, lots of beliefs that you need to create, and you just want to ask yourself, like, what are the objections and all these different things. So it's literally like lots and lots of pieces of content. So literally, I want you to actually go through this and do this, and you will see that you have like so many different pieces of content that you can now leverage. Okay, and each of these pieces of content has a purpose behind it. It has a strategy behind it, and at the end you can just pre-sell an offer. So each of these, you could literally create 15 pieces of content like this, like I shared with you in this video, story, metaphor, or whatever it might be, right? Each of them selling one belief or two beliefs or whatever it might be, like however you want to do it, right? It doesn't matter as long as you're doing this. Okay, it's just a matter of action. And you could literally have an autoresponder sequence or something where one video gets out to your prospect every single day, every single day, every single day. And if you do this, your prospects are going to love you. Okay, at the end of the day, you can literally like have 15, 20 pieces of content, 25 pieces of content, or whatever it might be. At the end, literally go, like, because each of these things is going to relate back to your product, you can literally have 5-minute video, soft sell to my top tier business. 5-minute video, soft sell to my top tier business. And you can literally be pitching stuff every day in a completely cool way while providing significant value. See how this is so powerful? Right? See how this is so powerful? You can break stuff down into something like this. One of the other things you can do is you can literally come up with the one big, like if there's different beliefs that this thing is creating, you want to find what you think the prospect, according to the prospect, what is the hottest thing that you can give? Like, what is the hottest piece of content that you can give? Right? What's the biggest hook? Let me give you an example. Okay, like again, you can create a combination of beliefs and stuff like that. Like, okay, so for example, I'm going to show you how to do. So your whole funnel could literally be capture page, okay, 3 to 5 minute video, literally sells them on a quick belief or whatever it might be, right? Insight, aha moment, story, or whatever it might be, quickly, and just tells people my top tier business or whatever it might be, right? And then just takes people to my top tier business. And then now that they're on your list, you're just every day sending out emails with videos or emails or reports or whatever it might be. You can even do this thing through email, okay? So you don't have to necessarily create videos. You can just write out emails telling really good stories or metaphors or whatever it might be that sells people on each of these beliefs, right? So for instance, it could literally be like, and you'd overcome one objection per day or one thing per day or whatever. Okay, so let me give you an example just to prove this point. Okay, now one thing that I want you to understand is this one hot piece of content that we created, okay, that selling belief and all this cool stuff is a lead magnet. Okay, this is what you're going to be, the hottest one, okay, is what you're going to be giving away to your prospects for free in exchange for their email address and in exchange for them coming onto your email list. All right, so this is literally your lead magnet. So you want to make sure it's hot, it's powerful, it's something that your prospects would want. Okay, so you want to think it from your prospects' perspective. Okay, so I want you to come up with ideas on what beliefs and what pieces of content you can now create that relates to the offer that you're trying to promote. Right, pick one of these, any of these, right? The hottest one, just go for it. Okay, now let me show you how many like literally lead magnets you can create. Excuse me. So how many lead magnets you can literally create? Like I could create from my 64-minute video. Like how many pieces of content that I literally covered and what sort of a lead magnet, what sort of a hook that would have and stuff like that. Let me just quickly share with you. Okay. So this is the video, right? I could literally have one of the lead magnets could literally be, okay, how a I mean, okay, so I again, this is a story, and one of the headlines or one of the hooks that I could create is literally, okay, so this guy went from $80,000 in debt to earning $50,000 a month. So one of the things that I could create is how a guy on like how a guy I recently met on stage at a live event literally went from $80,000 in debt to creating a $50,000 per month income stream in just 8 months, with a secret that nobody really talks about or something like that. Okay, and that's a hook. Okay, that's literally a piece of content that I could create. That I could create a 3-minute video just on that and tell the story about how I came about and what he shared with me, why it was so powerful and all this stuff, and that'll be that. Okay, then I could create another video about there's 2 ways you can make $20,000 per month. Okay, you can make 1,000 sales of a $20 product or 4 sales of a $5,000 product, and then I could just go into that, what's easier and blah 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 and all that different stuff. Can you, like right now I'm literally buzzing off with a billion different ideas on how many pieces of videos and how many pieces of content and emails that I can create that sells beliefs. Okay, like each of these things could be a video, okay, or a piece of content. I keep saying video because that's what I'm used to, right? And that's what I recommend, because videos are a very powerful way to convey your message. Crazy hassle and customer support. I could literally create a video that, do you know how much hassle and customer support it would take you if you were if you had your own product, if you had your own $20 product, and you had an income goal of $20,000 per month, you'd have to make 1,000 sales per month. Do you know how much stuff you would have to outsource? Do you know how much customer support you would need? Do you know how much XYZ, blah, blah, blah? And I could just go on and hammer pain after pain after problem and sell people on belief why this thing sucks and why they need to get out of it and why they need a high ticket product. And as soon as they're in that situation, the desire is going to be there. I could literally be like, I could kind of transition into how my top tier business and my solution solves this problem. Okay? Is this powerful stuff or what? Low level of intimacy with your prospects. That's another piece of content I could create. Your information is not valued. Another piece of content I could create. Low perceived value, right? That kind of goes in with that. You can impact each client's life deeper. So I could create a video on people don't want information, they want results. And if you can give them results, they're willing to pay an expensive premium price for it. Okay, people don't want to buy a $50 ebook and get 50 bazillion videos delivered or whatever it might be. People are happy to pay $1,000 or whatever it might be to go from point A to point B in the fastest, quickest, easiest, fastest way possible, in the easiest way, in the simplest way possible. Okay. High ticket, you're gonna get more serious clients. How high ticket can make you time freedom. Okay. Like each of these is literally a lead magnet, something you can give away for free. So the ideas here, the amount of value that you can give away to your prospect while selling stuff in a really cool way, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, high lifetime lead value. This will literally be like a powerful video. Okay, this could literally be a powerful video. And here's the type of hook that I would create. High lifetime lead value. So I could literally share an example and a story and stuff like that of this guy who made $8,000 from a list of 100,000 people. Or what am I saying? He made his first $1 million from a list of 8,000 people, and this guy made making $10,000 per month from a list of 200,000 people. I could literally have a capture page or something that talks about this. What was the number one secret of this guy who has a list of 8,000 people who made $1 million? And in brackets, I could have, it's not what you think, because most people would think it's a responsive list. And yes, that's true, but it's also a high ticket offer, and it's also selling it through the right medium. Okay, so I could share that secret, and that could be my hook. Okay, if I was selling an email marketing product, I could also transition into email marketing by using a hook like this. All right, is this powerful stuff or what? I could sell people on why they need high lifetime lead value, or else they're screwed. I could create a video on when you have a high lifetime lead value. If you're making 10 times more money than your competitor, that's 10 times more traffic you can get. That's 10 times faster you can scale up your traffic, 10 times easier, blah, blah, blah. I could pile on all the benefits and make a video about that. All right. Whew, is this stuff powerful or what? A piece of content or a video. Okay. You can stop chasing cheap traffic and go after the finding the most profitable traffic. Now, one of the biggest myths people have, again, is they're chasing cheap traffic. So I could literally create an ad. Imagine an ad like this. Okay. Just think about a funnel like this. Okay. Ad says, do not spend another penny on traffic generation or quote unquote cheap traffic gimmicks without you before you watch this 3-minute special video report. Okay, enter your email to get instant access to this video. So people enter their email, they get taken to a video that literally, again, goes into why you should not chase cheap traffic. You want to find profitable traffic, and I don't want to go into exactly what type of content I would create, because you probably already have an idea. I would literally be talking about like, okay, the real marketers who are making $50,000, $100,000 a month and whatever like that, they're not focusing on getting the cheapest traffic, because they realize, here's one big secret that they realize that nobody online is going to tell you. It costs you the exact same, I mean, it's obvious, but it costs you the exact same amount of money to get a lead online if you're selling a $10 product or a $10,000 product. And the person with the, and then you could just go into the story or whatever it might be and sell a belief on like a high converting sales funnel is the key to big money. And when you have that, traffic is a joke. You can literally get 10,000 people to your website tomorrow, but what you need is a high converting funnel. And then you could also transition into, you need a high ticket funnel, and it takes a lot of time if you want to do it yourself, right? You have to create your own products, and you have to do this, and you have to test out a bunch of stuff. It takes months and it takes years, and you have to outsource and all this stuff. and then you just go into the pain and the problem of the situation, and then you literally say you go into and then you just paint the whole picture, right? And then you just go into the situation where you say, a lot of people have been recently asking me, like, what is it that I'm doing to have a high converting sales funnel? Well, I'm actually leveraging a system that's that's making all these that has a proven high ticket that has a proven sales funnel in place. Okay, this system also has back end products. Unlike, see, most affiliate programs are never going to pay you on the back end. This system actually pays you on the back end, and you could go into the detail of that thing, and you could say this thing is making you back end sales of these high ticket commissions and stuff like that on complete autopilot. The phone team picks up the sales, picks up the phone and sells your prospects for you, blah blah blah, and you could transition into my top tier business from that. That's a complete sales funnel right there. Another idea. Okay, so I just literally created right in front of your eyes like 20 different hooks. Okay, let's create a bunch more. Okay, so what's easier to sell? I could make a video on how this guy made $80,000 in 1 hour of his time, and how that completely opened my eyes into high ticket. Okay, the real estate story that I share in the 64-minute video. That really sells people on this belief. Okay, selling medium, blah blah blah. Okay, so is there anything else? Okay, I could create a video on this, that instead of peddling $10 products, $20 products, or whatever like that, there's people who are like, if you're an affiliate for a product, $50 product, and you're making a $25 commission, there's people on the back end, the product owners are making big money by closing these leads into a high ticket coaching program, and they're not even telling you, you're not even getting a penny, blah blah blah. And this is how they can spend $10, $20, and $50 to get a single lead online. This is how they can dominate. This is how they literally go from $1,000 a month to $5,000 a month to $20,000 a month to $50,000 a month, while most people struggle and go from $1,000 a month to $1,100 a month to $1,200 a month, and they're just kind of having little to no growth, and they're staying stagnant, while the real people are growing their business in a major way because they have this stuff in place, and they have all the affiliates doing all the hard work getting the customers, and they're making all the back end sales. So I could create a video on that, and that would be crazy, and blah blah blah. I mean, there's just so many videos that I could create, and so many different things. Okay, so can you see how this can help you? Is this powerful stuff or what? Okay, so that's what I want you to create. I want you to create pieces of content, or I just want you to create like a piece of content or pieces of content or whatever. And again, you don't have to create 20 pieces of content on day one to do this. You can literally make a commitment to yourself where you go, for the next 30 days, I'm going to make a 3 to 5 minute video, one video per day, like this, and I'm going to master this strategy. Something like this. And every day, I'm going to create this sort of a video. I'm going to put it in my autoresponder sequence. I'm going to send it out to my list, however tiny it might be. Okay? And I'm going to try to get as much traffic as possible to these videos because they're valuable, and they're providing solutions to people and stuff like that. So that's going to be your focus. So every day you spend 3 to 5 minutes, okay, just creating the video. So it might take you, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever to plan out the video, and 5 minutes to create a video. So that's literally 20 minutes of work to put this thing into action. Okay, you don't have to create a full-blown video, 60-minute video or whatever it might be, right? You can just create little pieces of content. Okay, that's perfect too. That's perfect too. Okay, the thing with a 3 to 5 minute video is that it's short, it's consumable, and it's going to be super valuable. So the thing that you're going to have to your advantage, which I don't have right now, I'm going to be testing different stuff right now. But like I said, the 64-minute video is working for me. Like almost everybody who watches the video ends up buying. Okay, like that's how powerful it is. So the 3 to 5 minute video, the thing is, like, almost everybody who comes to your sales funnel, because it's such a short video, is going to go through the video because it's so short, right? So that's an added advantage. And you could literally create many of these videos, okay? And you just need to literally create a sequence of beliefs that you need your prospects to believe, okay? Day 1 you talk about this, day 2 you talk about this, this, right? And you just every day stay consistent with this thing, okay? Again, I'm giving you a statement, stay consistent, right? I could tell you a story about staying consistent. I don't want to, because whatever. Or a metaphor or something like that to make you believe that this is this is it, right? Um, Again, even when you're teaching or even when you're selling something or whatever it might be, this is persuasion. You'll have to do this, okay? And this stuff really, really works, and this stuff converts like it converts like crazy, okay? It just converts, and nobody's doing this in a strategic, focused way that I'm sharing with you right now. Nobody's doing this, okay? What I have given you right here is literally the keys to the kingdom. I'm not kidding you. I want you to take this to the bank and make a whole bunch of money with this, because this is that powerful, okay? This is that powerful. You're going to create such an insanely good relationship with your list by doing this. Even if you sell every single day, even if all these 3-minute videos or 5-minute videos or pieces of content or emails every single day you're selling something, which is not bad, by the way, okay? If you want to sell something every day, you should, okay? A lot of people think, isn't my list gonna always be like, oh, this guy's always pitching something? No, because again, you're gonna be providing value through these pieces of content and these beliefs and stuff like this. Okay, this is why this is so powerful. Okay, so create a report, create an ebook or something, for heaven's sakes, if not a video. Create a PowerPoint video if you're too scared or whatever. Create a mind map video like this. Okay, the software I'm using right now is called FreeMind, and the doodle pen thingy that I'm using right now, I'm gonna provide a link somewhere. I'm gonna make a video that just talks about all the resources I use for my business. Okay, so that's just gonna make it super duper simple. Okay, you can create a series of videos like I said. Okay, or you can just literally type an email a day. Okay, and your initial lead magnet, your initial thing that you give away when people opt into your capture page, could literally be a web page where you just share a story about about a belief or the thing that you promised them or whatever, and at the end there's a link to my top tier business or whatever offer you're promoting, and that's that. Okay, and then for the next 30 days you're just sending out 1 email per day doing this. So you could do it that way too. Video is just going to convert better, I'm just telling you right now. Okay, and you're a leader, so you need to stand up and make it happen. All right, you need to make it happen, my friends. So with that being said, that's that for this video. I mean, this stuff was so powerful. Just go out there and do this. The results, I'm just gonna let the results do the talking for you. You're gonna be surprised at how well this thing works. People are gonna be so receptive to you. There's gonna be people that are literally going to come up to you and go, "Wow, that was like, you opened my eyes like nobody has ever before. Like, that was a breakthrough moment." There's gonna be people who have been struggling for a long time, and you're gonna be changing lives literally with this stuff. I promise you that. Okay, so use it for your own good. Okay, use it to sell stuff that you really believe in, stuff that you 100% back, and I'm sure you'll do that. All right, and remember, okay, 50% of your money is mine. I'm just kidding, right? But so if you want to make money, if you make a whole bunch of money and you want to like give me some money, no problem. Okay, but anyways, jokes aside, if you have any questions or whatever, if you need any help, if you need to clarify anything, just contact me on Facebook or whatever. Let me know. Facebook. Contact me on Facebook or email or whatever it might be, and let me know what questions you have. Let me help you out. Let's get you started and actually do this stuff, okay? Don't let this be one of those things that you just watch and you go, wow, that was incredible, and you don't do anything, okay? Because if you don't do anything, nothing's going to change, okay? This is just going to be a piece of knowledge stored inside your head. That's just going to be a piece of knowledge stored inside your head. It's not ever going to translate into results until you make it happen, okay? Until you take a decision. Like my mentor Tony Robbins says, in the moment of decision, your destiny is shaped. You know why I'm telling you that quote? Because I want to convince you to actually do this thing. Okay? So I'm using the persuasion on you right now. Okay? So anyways, contact me if you have any questions. Let me know what you think about this training. This is some very powerful stuff. In the future, by the way, I'm telling you this right now, I'm going to be creating a course that's going to be like a lot more details and a lot more strategies or whatever. This is just one component of the sales multiplier formula that as I've coined it or whatever. I'm gonna make a course and stuff like that. it's going to be pretty intense. And this is just very, very powerful stuff. Put this stuff into action for you. The reason why I'm creating this, by the way, is so that you can take this out, you can implement this stuff, come back to me with your results, so that when I release my sales multiplier formula course, I can use your testimonial to sell more products. Okay, how about that for transparency? That's why I'm giving you this stuff for like right now. This is just incredibly powerful. Go out there, use it, make a whole bunch of money with it. With that being said, this is Sean Sony. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.